Connecting delivery networks worldwide. Well, joining us today to speak about that, Niklas Hedin, CEO of Centiro. Niklas, it's great to see you. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Niklas, let's talk about this issue of connecting delivery networks all over the place. I guess we need to explore why one would want to do that. What's the benefit there? So walk us through that, if you would.
I think we all come from a world now where we've seen disruption happening and customer demands going up, and there's no shortage of issues to deal with, right, for supply chains. And having more options to deliver to your customer is a good thing in that sense. So how do you navigate a challenge when your network is congested or you need a new service to your customer? And I think this is the very reason why delivery networks are rising on the scene, as it were. And in particular in the US, you see a lot of regional players coming up and augmenting your existing setup. But that gives a rise to complexity as well.
Well, let's talk about that, because obviously complexity is something that bedevils supply chain in so many different areas. Let's talk about the complexity then in delivery and just how we can overcome that, how we can deal with that.
Yeah, so let's first just accept that complexity is a requirement because you need to satisfy the customer demands, right? And the variation of those has also gone up. Regardless of country you look in, the pattern is the same. And then how you deal with that? Well, you need to work with good partners, and you need a good architecture in terms of your supply chain IT and the way you think about things to set this up for your success.
Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, if you have 2 or 3 or more folks in that network, you are multiplying that degree of complexity. So walk us through that. How are we going to deal with that? What's the avenue that we need to pursue if we're going to overcome all of that?
Well, first of all, just put it in context. When we talk to customers and partners in this area, we can see patterns where previously it would take up to a year to onboard a new carrier or delivery network, for example. That requirement is now down to a couple of weeks' time. So first of all, you need to explore what your customer is asking for. So how can you then benefit your portfolio? Many customers or many companies are also looking to reduce cost while still retaining the same service. So there are a lot of things going on that you need to balance in order to get this right. So, but ultimately, I think the final message here is that there is a business decision to be made here. It's not only a functional supply chain operation thing. It actually connects to the top line, because this connects to growth for many companies, and it is the tool at which you can actually leverage and unlock growth.
Now, I think it's fair to say that artificial intelligence is something that is top of mind right now for many, many people in supply chain. I guess the question then would be, in terms of the topic we are dealing with here today, what is the role of AI there? What would you say?
So first of all, I think many of the viewers are asked to do more with less, or more with the same. So the role of AI is to unlock and unleash and automate a lot of the things that can be done by technology. So, and this is an interesting space, because you're now seeing a blend and blur between planning disciplines and execution disciplines, and where you can actually let the machine take over some of the decisions, like carrier determination or optimization of a network blend, is a perfect machine learning and AI use case. So there are many things, everything from automating configuration. There are a lot of master data management that can be actually automated. And from there on, how do you then analyze your performance and predict what to do next? So there are many avenues that you can explore, everything from very mundane tasks that you can automate up to the very sort of intelligent and insight part where you can let AI suggest for you what you should look at.
You know, this really sounds to me like this might be a must-have technology as opposed to a nice-to-have technology. I guess the question is, how much of this are we actually seeing right now? How much implementation of this type of thing is going on right now?
In the supply chain space, too little, I would say. There's a lot of talk, and of course the hype is there, and everybody's talking about generative AI, et cetera. It's all over the scene. But in fact, the use cases that we see implemented are fairly practical and to the point. And I think there's an awareness issue in the whole industry that we need to sort of become more comfortable with and aware of and implement solutions that are AI driven. So I think we're on a wave of awareness creation initially, And as soon as that sort of starts to happen, you will see more implementation across the board. But so the ones we see are fairly straight to the point and mundane, if you will. But the prospect is, of course, there to do great things. But I think it comes with awareness.
Very promising future in that particular area there, no doubt about it. Let's turn to another topic that also is top of mind: sustainability in logistics. Clearly, there is a job to be done there. So walk us through that, though, as you see it. What's your view?
Well, so the first base point to observe is that 17% of the CO2 emissions in the world is from transportation. Let's just accept that fact first. And then, so that means there's a great job to be done to apply CO2 reduction sort of techniques to supply chain to at least help this job to get done, right? And this is also where AI can play a role. But first, you need crisp standards. And we've been working on the board of standards to make sure that you can actually take data and use it. Because if you have a standard that can't be adopted, it won't be used, right? So the first thing, you need standards that work, that can be adopted by organizations. But clearly, there's a big use case here where supply chain plays an integral role as a business partner to the business in general in helping achieve sustainability goals, no question.
Niklas, we've been painting a really quite interesting canvas here in a thought leader kind of way, talking about the industry as a whole. But I want to bring this home and talk about Centiro for just a moment or two. For the benefit of any viewer that's unfamiliar with the company, with Centiro, give us a little insight into what the company is doing. Just what is its focus, and how is it optimizing the operations of your client base? What would you say to the viewer?
So our core business is to connect the supply chain in a digital way and to connect these delivery networks. That's been our operating regime and core business for over 20 years. We are fortunate enough to work with the market leaders in each industry across the globe. So we service customers in 175 countries, and we work with all the top brands, right? So what can we do? Well, what is often said about us is that we're not only a business partner, we're an innovation partner to our customers. So that means our culture and ways of organizing become important. We've been a great place to work legend for many years. So we know how to build an organization that is truly innovative and inspiring to the ones we work with. So there are two parts to it: the technology and what it can do, the vast network. So we have more than 700,000 supply chain nodes connected in our network. So the likelihood of a customer wanting to operate in a country that we already have those parts on the network is very high. And also we can then introduce them to a collective of customers who are also innovative and pushing the edge. So we're trying to cross-pollinate the knowledge that will come from a market leader to another without being competitive. So that's part of our role here, is to make sure that they're successful.
Well, what a great message: business partner and innovation partner. Listen, Niklas, I know you're busy here at the conference, but you found time to speak with us about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Russell.
Niklas Hedin, Centiro, speaking with us today about connecting delivery networks worldwide. Thanks for watching.